Hello everybody, my name is Evgenia Gutova and I greet you from Norway. Today I will be speaking about child-directed speech lexicon among Arabic and Berber speakers in northern Morocco. First I will introduce the subject and the languages discussed, the major features, the etymology of child-directed speech terms, some sociolinguistic issues including address terms, and finally we will reach conclusions. So what is child-directed speech? Child-directed speech is the word I use in the title of this presentation because it is less ambiguous than the term baby talk. But I will use the word baby talk in this presentation because it's shorter and easier to pronounce. Baby talk is a special speech register used by adults when addressing babies or infants, typically between 0 to 3 or 5 years old. In a seminal article by Ferguson, he defines baby talk as a linguistic subsystem regarded by a speech community as being primarily appropriate for talking to young children. It consists of intonational features, patterned modifications of normal language, and a special set of lexical items. In today's presentation, I will focus on these lexical items. The discussed varieties are shown on this map. They can be grouped as follows. First, I discussed the Tarifit Berber language in its three dialects, Ikarayan, spoken around Nador, Said, and Tuzin. Then I discussed the Senhaja Berber language, which borders on Tarifit, and I discussed three varieties, Mizdui, Zarqat, and Kitama. Finally, within Kitama, there are also Arabic-speaking villages, and here I discuss the Kitama dialect of Moroccan Arabic, also known as Darija. Berber languages belong to a separate branch within Afroasiatic, known as Berber or Amazigh, and Arabic is a Semitic branch within Afroasiatic. Some questions which I intend to answer in today's presentation include: what are the special features in baby talk phonology, syllable structure, morphology, and syntax? What's the origin of baby talk terms? Who uses baby talk when, with who, and why? And what can we conclude if we compare baby talk of northern Morocco with other regions? My data issue mostly from ethnographic data, whether in situ within the speech communities or with delocalized speakers, either within Morocco in urban centers or abroad in Spain. I also conducted some questionnaires in situ or delocalized, and I consulted literature on Arabic and Berber child-directed speech. I built my database in Flex. It can be consulted online at gutova.com babytalk northern Morocco, and larger babytalk data can be consulted at gutova.com/babytalk. The northern Moroccan subset consists of around 420 items, and the larger database includes some 2,000 items for 20 languages, but today I discuss northern Moroccan Arabic and Berber. Some features of baby talk phonology in northern Morocco are shared in other regions. Many baby talk words contain stops and nasals, but also back consonants k, ch, qa, ha, a. There is sound symbolism, for example, ch in chichi, dirty, but back consonants do not always express negative meanings. Some sounds found in baby talk are rare in adult speech, for example, p, v, and emphatic m. Common examples include papa, bread, buva, water, mumu, baby or stranger, depending on the dialect. In Tarifit adult speech, stops turned to fricatives so that d becomes the, t becomes th, and so on. In baby talk, one still finds plosives, for example, didi, pain, tiu, birds, and so on. In adult Tarifit, l usually turns to r and l to j. But in baby talk, we still find l and l intact, for example, lulush, toy. Some sounds are rare in baby talk, for example, r and j, probably due to the fact that they are perceived as hard to pronounce for children. Usually they are omitted or replaced in baby talk terms that derive from adult speech equivalents. J turns to z in Kitama Arabic azi from aji, come, ziddi from jiddi, grandfather, Ziza from Jija, grandmother. Examples of omitted r in baby talk include Kitama Berber abah from arwah, come. Sometimes q becomes k, though q also occurs, For example, Kitama Berber Kizu from Akzun, or Tarifit Kzuzu from Akzin, dog. Baby talk words usually have a simple structure, open syllables, unlike adult speech, and partial or complete reduplication. Most frequent scheme is CV-CV with frequent gemination of the second consonant. For example, Mimi, Eid, Titi, Seed, Fufu, Fire, Didi, Pain. Similar structure is also found in animal calls or animal-directed speech. For example, Shasha, stop, Rara, go, addressing a donkey. We find groups of 3 and more consonants. For example, F, fire, Ch, it burns, K, dirty, Sht, shut up, silence. Many baby talk terms do not have a clear part of speech. For example, Jeje, don't touch, dirt, dirty, stop, leave it, Didi, pain, injury, it's painful, it can hurt, be careful. Both nouns and verbs usually lack morphological markers, although there are exceptions. Some nouns do have feminine and plural counterparts, and some verbs can be conjugated fully or partially. There is more morphology in baby talk stage 2 or children talk used with elder children than in baby talk stage 1, which is infant talk addressed to babies. Many baby talk terms end in consonants h, ein, which can be considered as expressive suffix. There is optional h in Tarifit, kakah, dirty, didi, pain, lalah, which is interchangeable with la, leg, in different dialects of Tarifit, bibih, baby, in Tarifit, which can be compared to bibi in Aujala, or bibish with a final sh in Kabyle Berber in Algeria. Final suffix sh also reflects dialectal preferences and is found in some baby talk terms which are derived from adult speech equivalents without the final sh. For example, we find lulush, toy, lalash, leg. There is dadush, the dash, walk across Morocco, and there is kimash, seed from qim, kimush, mouth from akimum in Tarifit, and ba'ash, sheep in Kitama Arabic and Berber. The use of diminutives is common in baby talk cross-linguistically, and that includes Morocco, Arabic and Berber, especially in the stage 2 of baby talk. In Berber, diminutives are derived by the circumfix t, which is the same for feminine nouns. For example, afus, hand, feminine or diminutive, tafust, small hand. Some baby talk terms have derived feminine or diminutive counterparts, especially in stage 2 baby talk. For example, maha, kiss, tamahat in Tarifit and Kitama Berber, lulu, toy, tlulusht in Tarifit. Some baby talk terms have final t without the prefix. For example, habud, clothes, kummut, mouth. In Arabic, feminine nouns and diminutives are derived differently. Feminine is usually derived by the suffix a, and diminutives by applying a vocalic scheme. For example, kalb, dog, kliyib, small dog. However, final a sometimes does appear in diminutives, which often combine final a with a vocalic scheme. For example, halib, haliba, milk, lham, lhima, meat. Some baby talk terms have a derived plural. In Berber baby talk, the plural is derived as an adult speech. Masculine plural has prefix e and suffix n. Feminine plural has prefix t and suffix in. For example, ba, sheep. And then in baby talk stage 2, abash, singular, ibashin, plural, in Tarifit. In Kitama, we have a feminine noun, betah, hand, arm. And in stage 2 baby talk, singular, feminine, tabedacht, plural, feminine, tibedahin. There are two major types of plurals in Arabic adult speech: external, formed by suffix, and internal, formed by apophony. In baby talk, we usually find external plurals with the suffix at. For example, anat, cars, mimiwat, cats, titiwat, birds. Following a vowel, we find yat or wat. For example, mumu, baby, mumuyat, mumuwat, babies. Most baby talk verbs are invariable. For example, dadash, walk, but some verbs can be conjugated, especially in baby talk stage 2. In this case, they follow the patterns of adult speech. In the studied Berber varieties, conjugated verbs include buh, die, khush, sleep in Zerket and Tarifit, and chuh, sleep in Kitama. In baby talk stage 1, verbs are never marked for aspect. In baby talk stage 2, some verbs can optionally distinguish aspects as in adult speech. For example, buch, imperfective tbuchai, die, in zerket. Some baby talk verbs take the ventive clitic d, which marks direction toward the speaker, and this d can be fossilized. For example, tarifit abid with the optional d, and kitama abid with obligatory d, bring. In Kitama Arabic, verbs can be conjugated in stage 2 baby talk, but usually only in the imperative with the plural suffix u. For example, nini, niniu, sleep, mimi, mimiu, eat. Some interviewers report that other verb forms are possible in stage 2 baby talk. For example, nin now, they slept, but others say that rather than conjugating baby talk terms, it is more common to switch to the regular adult-directed speech at this point. To form a sentence, baby talk terms can be used alone or put together, often without any connecting words. Alternatively, in stage 2 baby talk terms are inserted in standard speech, replacing adult speech equivalents. For example, Zarkat has in stage 1 tatah, hit, someone will hit you, I'll hit you as a threat, and in stage 2, shahid tatah, he will hit you. What is the origin of baby talk terms? Baby talk terms often have no relationship with adult equivalents. Some of them can be considered expressive or symbolic, for example, hey, dirty, kh, don't touch, and many baby talk terms are onomatopoeic, especially animal names. Many of them derive from animal cries and some from animal-directed speech. For example, in the first category, how, dog, bash, sheep, tiu, bird, kuku, rooster. In the second category, bes, which is either called to attract a cat or the term for cat in baby talk. Onomatopoeias that represent the object's noise include, for example, an, peep, tit, referring to car, vehicle, motorbike. And there are other examples of onomatopoeias like am, eat, psha, pi, mah, kiss, gra, set to encourage the child to smile or to talk. Some baby talk terms do derive from adult speech equivalents. Here, the degree of resemblance can vary. Some baby talk terms take the last syllable of adult term and reduplicate it with the gemination of consonant 2. For example, in Kitama and Zarket, imi, mouth, baby talk mimmi or mimish. Other patterns are also found, for example, Tarifit, oxin, gzozo or gzozo, dog, aryul, glulu, donkey. There are examples of distortions of adult speech equivalents, with adults imitating mistakes that children typically make. For example, as we discussed, zh becoming z or r being omitted. Sometimes the origin of baby talk terms is difficult to establish. There are some loan words which can be with a slight change of meaning. For example, French bravo, used for good or to clap, bye-bye, which can be used to wave goodbye, to wave hello, and many items are shared by Arabic and Berber, and the direction of borrowing is not always easy to determine. For example, bull, ogre, monster, mumu, baby, titi, sit. There are some common Mediterranean terms, which Ferguson noticed in his 1964 article, including buwa, water, baba, bread, nini, sleep, lulu, or nunu, toy. This slide shows 2 stages of baby talk, but I have to say that this graph is impressionistic based on speaker's intuition rather than on quantitative data. But it is clear that there are 2 different stages of baby talk. The first stage starts as soon as the baby is born, peaks around year 2, and then gradually diminishes. The second stage starts around the second year, and then peaks around year 4, and then gradually diminishes. The second stage is characterized by the increase of morphology, some changes in phonology, and it can be seen as a gradual step towards switching to adult-like grammar. This switch is obviously gradual, and baby talk is normally not used after year 6. Of course, there are some individual factors that play a role and lead to differences. These factors can be related to rural versus urban settings and also to attitudes toward baby talk. Among the young speakers that we interviewed, especially those who have been schooled or live in urban areas, some report avoid using baby talk altogether. In such cases, they usually refer to special baby talk words that do not derive from adult equivalents. Nevertheless, they use other forms of baby talk, like diminutives, for example. They say that baby talk is an obstacle delaying the child's language acquisition. However, the majority of speakers interviewed spoke in favor of baby talk. They see baby talk as a teaching aid. Although baby talk differs from adult speech, they both serve the same function, which is communication. Baby talk users say that the primary function of baby talk is to teach children to talk, and it is not important if they use baby talk terms or adult equivalents. They note that baby talk words are easier for children both to understand and to pronounce, and so the children learn to communicate faster. Baby talk lexicons can differ in size. My dataset for Northern Morocco includes around 400 items, and more than half of them are shared, overlapping, while less than half are distinct, region-specific, dialect-specific. This slide shows the number of items per variety. It's not necessarily the case that some varieties have richer baby talk, but rather it simply shows that I spent more time with Kitama Senhaja speakers than, for example, with Said Tarifit speakers. This slide shows the number of overlapping items between varieties, namely between Kitama Arabic and Berber dialects, and it clearly shows that Kitama Arabic shares the larger number of items with the Kitama Berber, which is 40, and then the number of overlapping items diminishes the further away we go to the east. Very similar numbers are obtained if we compare Kitama Berber with other varieties. Again, Kitama Berber shares the larger number of items with the local Arabic and less with other varieties spoken more to the east. So we can speak of continuum. There are some competing terms with doublets or even triplets expressing the same concept. For example, to sleep, we have chuh, onomatopoeic, used in both Kitama Arabic and Berber, nini, which is more widespread in Morocco and which can also be used in Kitama, and dodo from French dodo, mostly used in urban areas, especially by dislocated speakers of middle or higher class. Recent development of mass media and online social networks influences all language domains, and including baby talk. Both parents and children are exposed to a more general Moroccan baby talk, a sort of koine, which leads to dialect leveling. Schooling also leads to dialect leveling because teachers often come from other regions. Also, earlier school age leads to the decrease of baby talk use. Baby talk lexemes can be used outside baby talk context. Secondary uses of baby talk are very rare in Morocco. Adults usually use baby talk when quoting or imitating infant speech. Baby talk terms can be also used to mock someone who is past baby talk age, whether in reported speech or in direct address. Baby talk lexemes can be used among adults in familiar or ironic contexts or to avoid taboo words such as body parts. Some lexemes fall in between baby talk and adult speech, for example, words which are based on baby talk terms but have regular affixes. For example, maha, kiss in baby talk, and then more adult like tamahat in Kitama Berber, and tarifit ba'a, used to refer to the sheep in baby talk, and more adult like abash, plural, ibashin. Kinship terms are an important part of baby talk cross-linguistically. Arabic and Berber share some baby talk kinship terms. Baby talk and her adult equivalents share some kinship terms as well. This is also found in European languages where mama and papa can be used also by adults. In Tarifit, baby talk, many kinship terms have a fixed final sound s, which is third singular possessive pronoun which got fossilized. For example, mamas, adult yimma, mother, papas, adult baba, father. This phenomenon is found in many other Berber languages, but not in Senhaja. Some kinship terms in Kitama Arabic have the suffix u, for example, jdu, grandfather. Interestingly, this suffix u coincides with the third masculine singular possessive pronoun in Arabic, which parallels the Berber s. However, the suffix is also found in kinship terms in Arabic outside Africa, so it cannot be Berber influence. Also, there are dialects within Morocco that have possessive suffix a, distinguished from the baby talk suffix u. So we have to conclude that it's a special kinship suffix with an unclear history. In both Arabic and Berber, adults can address children using terms that children are supposed to use to address them. For example, a mother can address her child, whether a son or daughter, as mother, father as father, and so on. This phenomenon known as role switch, or address inversion. Role switch also exists in other languages, often with some deviations, so that there is no exact reciprocation. It's related to gender switch because adults address children according to the sex of the speaker and not of the addressee. Gender switch, or gender reversal or cross-addressing, is the phenomena when children are addressed in the opposite gender, boys as girls and girls as boys. Gender switch in Arabic has been reported in various studies. However, it's extremely rare in northern Morocco, whether in Arabic or in Berber. One exception I found is the term habiba, beloved, feminine, which can be used for boys. Literature reports bidirectional gender switch, so boys addressed as girls and vice versa. In North Morocco, I only observed unidirectional gender switch, so only boys addressed with feminine forms, but not the other way around. This is probably due to the fact that feminine forms are perceived as sweet, cute, and so on. Also, gender switch is characteristic of female speech, so it's used by women more than by men. Moroccan baby talk is part of North African baby talk with parallels in the Middle East, with many features shared between Arabic and Berber. Some baby talk items are regional dialect specific. Within Kitama, the overlap between Arabic and Berber is 20%, while within Senhaja, the overlap between Eastern and Western varieties is 18%. Sometimes the region plays a bigger role than the language group. For example, the word chuh, sleep, is shared by Kitama, Arabic, and Berber, while the Zerket equivalent is khush. There is variation in child-directed speech, which can be regional, or it can be related to within community or dislocated speakers, Arabic versus Berber, urban versus rural, old versus new, native versus borrowed. Sometimes it is difficult to establish what factors play a role. In displaced speakers, baby talk is influenced by more general Moroccan or Europeanized baby talk. Children who grow up outside the Rif are often not familiar with the regional baby talk. Children who grow up abroad, in Spain for example, often are not able to distinguish between Moroccan and Spanish baby talk. Baby talk in Morocco and in Europe shows both similarities and differences. Common features include simple syllable structure, often CV, reduplication, and the use of diminutives. Major differences are that Moroccan baby talk is more conventionalized, it seems to be older and stable, it is a better defined register, which makes it easier to elicit, it has clearer distinction in stages, and there are no secondary uses apart from ironic contexts. North African baby talk stretches from Morocco to Egypt, plus has parallels in the Middle East. In Europe, variation between countries and languages is larger, and there is also variation between families, so personal variation is larger than in Morocco. There are different attitudes toward baby talk caused by different factors. Many young adults, especially displaced, say they are opposed to baby talk, even if they in fact use it. We haven't observed a visible decrease in the use of baby talk among young adults, including displaced speakers. The primary function of baby talk is not language acquisition, but facilitation of communication. Learning to speak does not equal learning the adult language. So there is continuity between baby talk and adult speech, but it lies not in phonetics, phonology, and morphology, but at the cognitive level, in the child's social and communicative competence. I thank you for your attention. If you want to find out more, please consult gutova.com/babytalk.